My biggest problem with the woke left is not the fact that they lack critical thinking, that their entire ideology is one of essential mental illness, but what really gets me about them is the fact that they are the type of individuals who will cut their nose to spite their face. That is an old school saying, which essentially means an individual is willing to destroy themselves in the process of destroying you. Like, in order for them to have whatever it is that they're looking to gratify themselves with, if it's power, which it oftentimes is, or almost always is with the woke left, it is always a power play. They may use this coverted optic of I'm the oppressed and you're oppressor, but it's always to get them to the top of that victim hierarchy or any damn hierarchy they create for themselves. So that's the part that really gets me when it comes to these individuals. And I recently did a video on how they're essentially trying to push a conviction for DJT before he gets inaugurated into office. So January 10th, interesting. 10 days before his inauguration, they want him in court to be convicted of one of these bogus claims that has been hovering over his head for the last God knows how long, right? Mind you, this is the same judge, I believe, whose daughter was a campaigner for Skamala and was being paid millions of dollars, and whose wife was a special attorney, quote unquote, for Letitia James, who was one of the architects of this lawfare BS, corrupt, whatever the hell they created, right? I can't even call it cases. I can't even call it convictions, because as far as the facts state, this is nothing more than the deep state, than the far left ideologues, than the Marxists within the government looking to destroy a change in America. And so, again, what truly blows my mind is that the sheeple, right? We're not dealing with the actual, like, the corrupt system, but the sheeple who just follow along, Kamala, like those individuals right there, the ones who just scattered on over to Skamala, a woman they didn't know, and were now defending her and are still defending her to this very day, won her as president, even though, years before they would have seen her as a complete idiot. If the media didn't tell them to like her, they would have thought she was a complete idiot. But because over $2 billion went into promoting this, whatever she is, now we have an entire base that believes in pretty much whatever comes out of that woman's mouth or whatever comes out of any of their mouths. And that's not new, okay? This base of mentally challenged individuals has existed for quite a while. The woke thing has been around, but this is the newest manifestation, or the most recent manifestation. And so when I observe this playing out, what blows my mind is how these people will, let's say a policy like closing off the borders, right? Securing the borders is what we like to call it, euphemisms, right? Secure the border. No, close the damn thing and kick these folks out who ain't supposed to be here, who are causing mayhem. Simple, right? So in a policy such as that, this will benefit all Americans, right? Get rid of criminals and either incarcerate them or send them back to where they once came. That's going to benefit even your crazy ass in the middle of New York or Philly or whatever other blue hubs are still left, and they're very scarce. Yet these far left ideologues, the woketies, they will look to combat that in order to prove a point. It's like, why did so many people vote for Kamala? And I don't say so many because there shouldn't have been more than one. Her vote should have been the only vote that went in. Not even Joe or Jill voted for that damn maniac. I don't think Obama even did. I don't think he showed up at the damn polls. He looked too damn stressed. He looked like he been back on the cigarettes. Heavy, okay? But you could have this entire base of people whose lives are going to be bettered by that man right there, and they will still oppose him, and they will only vote for this one because it's not that one. That's also, I guess, a sign of how deep the propaganda is, and how effective messaging can be. It doesn't take that long to condition or brainwash a person. 90 days within a cult, and a person can be completely given to an ideology where they're not even in relationship with their family anymore, and they cut their family off and they want nothing to do with them. In 90 days, let alone if you got billions of dollars of advertising, You could probably cut that time down to maybe a week or two, and you have radicalized an individual overnight. And that's what we see with these individuals. They were willing to vote for this individual who blew through $2+ billion, went $20 million in debt, and that's just what they're reporting. And they wanted to have her be the one who comes into office to manage this deficit that was left behind by her administration, or at least Biden and her administration, right? They will rather have that person because of spite, because of bitterness, because of delusion, than have a man who spent less than $400 million and actually saved money, was under budget. Like, that's, I know it's a surface level example, but this is the type of ideology, this is the type of mental, what's the word I'm looking for? Retardation. That's what it is. This is the level of mental retardation that we are dealing with, folks. It is severe. It's deep. You go into Congress and you will see 200 blue seats who would be better off, whose people, the ones they're supposed to represent, will be better off if we pass this legislation right here, and they will oppose it simply off of spite. That is disgusting, folks. That's, again, I've been pondering this thing to say, do they actually believe? I said, no, it's not about believing in whether this is good or not. They just want to be proven as right, whatever that means for them. So it's, there's these delusional individuals who are putting out these videos now like, Kamala's going to be president. How you don't even know. It's January 3rd, folks. Kamala's going to be president. Kamala's going to be president. I'm like, okay. The psych ward, make psych wards great again. That's going to be our next campaign. Make psych wards great again, right? But when I look at this, I'm like, okay, so y'all who are still clinging onto this thing, Trump even came out and said, look, I want to make it a greater America for everybody. And they're the type of people who be like, no, I don't want you to make it a great America. I want her to make it a worse America. I want her to, just so I can continue to live in my delusions and hatred and bitterness. That's the sort of energy we're dealing with, folks. That's why I say there's no reasoning with the woke ideologue. They are in a religion. This is a cult. I'm a lover of, not cults, but of cult ideology. Like, I watch a lot of documentaries and things of that nature. I'm actually watching, what's it called? Dancing with the Devil or something. It's like a TikTok cult. Well, it wasn't technically a TikTok cult, but it became like a TikTok dancer based cult. Shekinah, I think is what it was called. Real interesting. If you got time, watch the 3-part series on Netflix. But I watch these and I see how people are brought in, how they're swayed, how, a mind is so malleable, especially when vulnerable. And a lot of these people are very vulnerable, right? They are severely mentally ill, or at least somewhere on that mental illness spectrum. And so they buy into this ideology, or they are just bitter and resentful. And so they find a scapegoat for their resentment. And so that's why it's so hard to rationalize with them. You try to have a conversation like, hey, let's do something different. Let's do something better for the country. No, I don't want better. I don't want solution. You can complain all day, and if you come to them with the solution, you're actually seen as the oppressor. Obesity is the problem, right? Hey, I actually have a formula that could work quite well for you and your current bout with obesity. No, I am oppressed. Nothing will stop me from being oppressed. It's like, okay, so do you want to be healthy? I am healthy at any size, right? That's what we're dealing with. There is no logos, there is no logic, there is no reason in these people. And that's why, like one of the folks in my comment section said, with age comes the realization that there's going to be a lot of folks that you just got to leave behind. You got to leave them. Just like I'm about to leave my voice behind trying to do that damn big girl voice. You got to leave some of these maniacs behind. They're given over to this mind. Now, there are some who can be salvaged, and it's like in any other cult, they have to come to a sense of realization for themselves. They have to. There's no other way. The more that you try to persuade, the more that they push away. It's only when they're ready. That's why I make so many of these videos, is like to speak to, I was expose the truth about this damn thing and the dangers of this ideology, this Marxist or neo-Marxist ideology. But it's also because I understand that there's going to be somebody who gets to a point where they're ready to wake up. Just like, many of us woke up at some point. We were all, well, not all, but many of us were on that Democratic plantation. And we say, wait, something's off here. And we started doing our own due diligence research. We became the outcast. We became seen as a sellout, whatever it was. But we stepped off of that plantation and we started to think for ourselves. We started to eventually, hopefully, speak for ourselves, right? And to stand against the very thing that the very cult that we were raised within, because it is a cult ideology. Again, it's become the most heinous and zealous of religions. And it's the worst kind because it doesn't have a God and it doesn't have a true principle. You understand me? It has virtues that it creates out of thin air, but they're not founded in reality, in nature. It's like the virtue changes depending on how they feel. So it's like women's rights, should be honored. And then it's, but what about the women who feel that their rights are being violated because there's dudes playing in their sport? No, those are women too. And these actual women need to, bow down to these ones who say that they're women because they said so. And so you're thinking to yourself, wait, so whose rights are we fighting for here again? And I think a lot of them are confused, right? There has to be a large majority, which is it's like, okay, what's the update for today? You have to be up on lingo. It's like you miss a week in this woke BS, you miss a single week. And you will think to yourself, my God, I don't think I belong anymore. Wait, now we have, we have three-footed midgets. And, oh my God. Okay, so if you are... First, if it was like, if you're black like me, I would have placed very high on the victim hierarchy. I would have placed like bronze medalist right here, right? As a black man, young black man. Nowadays, I won't even place. Y'all. Because now I have to be this, but I also got to chop my joint off and declare myself as some other gender. I have to have some type of disability. I got to be divergent in my neurosis. So neurodivergent. What else can I have? God, that will really get me to rank. I mean, that's probably going to give me a cool bronze, maybe a silver, but it's still very competitive. Even with all of those, I got to make at least 7 more classifications of victimhood to be like a gold medalist in this insanity. You understand me? That's what we're dealing with. And that's why I continue to, and I will continue to, till the very last breath, if that's what it takes, for this to end, because it has to stop. Ideology is the basis of reality. Ideas form or inform our reality. Perception is nothing more than your belief system. So if you believe that you're a victim, that you are oppressed, you will go through life with that very jaded, powerless mentality, and it is a very dangerous place to be. I once heard, I think it was Patrick Bet-Davis, shout out to Valuetainment. He said, the most dangerous people are ambitious, lazy people. People who want power but are lazy they are the worst type of person. That's why I got nothing but love for an Elon. He wants to work 20 hours. I might not want to do 20, maybe a cool 15, 16, whatever, right? But I don't know about 20, 22 hours. You're pushing it, buddy. But he's willing to do that work. He's ambitious. And so he's going to get whatever comes with that. But there are folks out here, a lot of them are politicians. They're just in politics, lifelong politicians. People try to put this on Trump. I said, bro, Trump is the first president in American history who was not a politician and was not a general. The first. He was not a government guy. And he took no paycheck his first go around. And he's probably going to take none now. He lost money while he's in there. While you have the Nancys, you have the Bills, you have Bill has been less active. More active in the, what Bill does, what Clinton does. We all know that. But you have the likes of the Nancys. You have the likes of the Elizabeth Warrens. You have the likes of the Bernie Sanders, these people have been in DC for 756 eons. Like they were born in the actual foundation of DC, in the actual earth. You understand me? Prehistoric times. Before humanity existed, there was Nancy Pelosi. And these individuals, what do? Well, they milk. They're power hungry, but they're lazy as hell. So they do very little for the most. And they do it at the expense of the people. And so again, for me, I say, look, my message is simple. Personal agency. Do for self. Like, yes, your government's supposed to take care of certain things. Maybe your boss, whatever it is. Okay, cool. You have contracts, you have agreements, you have taxpayer dollars you're paying. But when it's all said and done, if you are not zoned in on your own career, finances, etc., and you're not masterminding, you're not thinking for yourself, you're allowing somebody else to do the thinking for you, they will screw you at some point, even if it's not on purpose, because nobody's going to care more about your life than you do. Nobody cares more about your own money than you do, your own body than you do. You have to put first things first, and it is in our hands. That's why I don't blame racism. I don't go on, well, because I'm a black man, and that's the reason. No, it's not because I'm a black man that I failed in that. I failed because I didn't get my butt up out of bed to make sure that I got to do what's necessary to get where I got to get. Simple. The racism had nothing to do with me getting my butt up out of bed. Simple. Oh, but it's the reason why I really have seen the systems and the injustices. Nah, brother, nah, it ain't got nothing to do with no systems and injustices. I don't give a damn what system exists. The system you need to get off of is the PlayStation system, and to get yourself in a new belief system. That's the system that needs to be fixed, period.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a heart in their heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 365, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.